So these are the Bose and Wilkins PX7 S3s, and these are a pair of headphones that are going to give you great sound quality, amazing build quality, and just an all-out beautiful design. These are a statement piece all on their own, and these headphones do have some notable upgrades over the Bose and Wilkins PX7 S2s, but overall, these are a pair of headphones for someone that wants to stand out from everyone else that might be rocking a pair of Bose, Sony, or Apple headphones. We're going to pricing the Bose Wilkins PX7 S3s have a retail price of $470, which is a lot, and technically these are Bose Wilkins entry-level ANC headphones, if you can believe that. But these headphones are already on sale for $430, which with their build quality isn't bad. So if you want to pick these headphones up, there will be a link down below, or you can always press on the YouTube shopping button, and if you want to further support the channel, then you can always watch some of the related videos in the description down below. So first, let's talk about this case. Now, the PX7 S3's case is very similar to the PX7 S2's case. This is a very premium feeling case. It's a very hard shell case, which is going to do a great job of protecting your headphones, even if you cram them into a cramped backpack. And they even took the extra step of lining the inside of this case with very thick felt, which makes the inside feel even more premium than the inside of a lot of other cases. Overall, this is a very nice case. However, since these headphones aren't fully collapsible, their case does have a slightly larger footprint than a lot of other cases out there. So these wouldn't be my top pick for traveling or flying, but they're still manageable enough. This case isn't as bad as, let's say, the Sony 1000XM5's case or Sennheiser's case, which are a hard pass for me if you're looking for a pair of headphones to fly with. But with the cases out of the way, let's talk about the headphones themselves. Now, at first glance, the PX7 S3s and PX7 S2s are very similar. Both of these headphones have a lay-flat design to them, like I just mentioned, but both of these ear cups pivot and swivel a lot, and both of these headbands glide in and out. But more importantly, these headband arms are machined metal, which first off look great, and secondly, they're very durable. And the way that these headbands just glide, it feels both smooth and sturdy. But like I mentioned before, I prefer when my headbands click because it's just easier to find your fit. But besides that, both of these ear cups and headbands have hits of fabric on them, and both the ear cups and headband are wrapped in leather, so the amount of plastic your grubby little fingers actually touch is very minimal. However, I do have to point out that just like with the PX7 S2s, when I first got them, the leather on the PX7 S3s feels very plasticky and it feels very synthetic. But don't worry, don't get discouraged. All you literally have to do is just wear these headphones for a little bit so that the leather can soak up all of your juices and soften up. Now, when it comes to fit, the PX7 S3s do fit a little better than the PX7 S2s. Now, when it comes to clamping force, just like the PX7 S2s, the PX7 S3s are a little tight when they're new. With these, you do have to stretch them out for a little bit. But after that, these headphones have a neutral amount of clamping force, but they do lean towards the firmer side. So to be safe, I would not say that these are big head approved. Now, you can make them work, but if you're looking for a looser fit, then you might want to go with a Bose or Sony. But then there are the ear cups on these headphones. Now, the ear cups on the PX7 S3s are noticeably more low profile than the ear cups found on the PX7 S2s, giving you a sleeker fit, which I actually really like. And even though the ear cups on the PX7 S3s are sleeker and more low profile, they're actually more spacious than the ear cups found on the PX7 S2s. So if you have larger ears or ears that stick out a lot, they should have you covered. But then there's also the padding. The padding on the PX7 S3s has less surface area coming in contact with your skin, so these ear pads stay slightly cooler for a little longer compared to the PX7 S2s. And then there's their weight. The PX7 S3s weigh in at 300 grams, which is okay given the more premium materials and better durability on these headphones, and it's actually 7 grams less than the PX7 S2s. But with these headphones, you can notice them shifting around quite a lot when you're walking around with them on, and you never really forget that you're wearing them when you're sitting at your desk, or if you're in bed, or if you're flying with these headphones. Overall, these headphones fit well, but there are plenty of other headphones out there that are lighter, fit looser, and have a more spacious and cooler ear pads. But what really makes the PX7 S3s special is their design. They truly look like a piece of art, and they have better materials and better build quality without being super overweight, like let's say the AirPod Max. But now let's talk about tech specs. When it comes to battery life, the PX7 S3s have an advertised battery life of 30 hours with active noise cancellation turned on, which is the same as the PX7 S2s, and that's pretty good battery life. And with both of these headphones, you can always extend their battery life by using them with their active noise cancellation turned off. And both of these headphones charge via a USB-C port, as they should, and with both of these headphones, you can use them while they're charging, and you can always use these USB-C ports as a wired connection, making them a good option if you plan on gaming with these headphones. And even though these headphones don't have an audio jack, you can still use them with an audio jack connection because they come included with a USB-C to audio jack cable. So if you plan on flying with these headphones, they will have you covered. And this is actually a very big deal because if we were to look at my favorite headphones out there, the AirPod Max, their audio jack to USB-C cable is sold separately, which I do not think is okay. However, if you do want to use these headphones with a wired connection, they do have to be powered on. You can't use these headphones passively, which I feel is going to be a big deal for someone that might be planning on flying with these headphones or for content creation. But something that I do like on the PX7 S3s is that they actually changed the position of the USB-C port on these headphones. It's now sticking down directly down, instead with the PX7 S2s, which is actually angled towards the back a little bit. So if you try to use it with a wired connection, then the cable is going to dig into your neck. But when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, these headphones can be connected to any two Bluetooth devices at the same time, making them a good option for any power user out there that likes to hot swap between, let's say, a PC and an iPhone. And latency is not an issue for these headphones, so you can use them to watch a video with on your phone. But when it comes to audio codecs, Bose and Wilkins went all out with these headphones because they have support for SBC and AAC, duh. But they also have, and hold on here, they have aptX Classic, aptX HD, aptX Adaptive, and aptX Lossless. So if you really like aptX, you might want to go with these. Now, in order to use aptX, you do have to be an Android user because iPhones top out at AAC. But regardless, these headphones sound great even with just AAC. But wait, if you're actually going to charge all of this stuff, then check out our partners over at Anker. They've got a ton of battery banks and chargers. And personally, I've been using this new 7-in-1 charging station from Anker. Now, personally, I really like this charging base because it has two built-in USB-C cables which retract, and you can use them to either charge small devices like your earbuds, or you can even use them to charge your larger devices like your iPad or MacBook. There's an additional USB-C port, so you can plug in an additional cable, and there's also a USB-A port if you've got any older devices that are using a USB-A cable. Plus on the back, you've got an additional three-prong AC ports, so you can plug in any of your other devices, and this base also has a built-in screen, so you can see how much power it's putting out. You can also see how much power each device is taking, and you can even get temp readouts just to be safe. Honestly, this charging base does save me a lot of clutter here in the studio because I have a lot of devices that just constantly need to be charged. So if you want to pick this charging base up, it'll be linked down below, or you can always press on the YouTube shopping button. And I'm also going to keep a coupon code in the pinned comment down below so that I can get you an extra discount. But now let's talk about sound quality. The Bose Wilkins PX7 S3s sound good and they perform better than the Bose Wilkins PX7 S2s. Now, the PX7 S3s are going to give you a very technical listening experience, as in they're going to try to sound as balanced and as neutral as possible. So if you're someone that likes a more dynamic listening experience with prominent vocals and hard-hitting bass, then you might want to go with the AirPod Max. Whereas the PX7 S3s really excel is instrument separation and balance, and with their stock EQ, the bass on these headphones does a really good job of resonating and almost engulfing you. But if you're someone that likes a little bit more kick in your bass, then you might want to go in and raise the bass on these headphones and just bring down the highs a little bit. I kind of feel that the PX7 S3s sound like the Sony 1000 XM6s, but with more resonance and more physicality in their bass, giving you that missing piece that I feel the Sony 1000 XM6s are missing. And when comparing the PX7 S3s to the PX7 S2s, the main difference is going to be the clarity in the highs and better resonance in the bass. It's a notable difference, but not enough to upgrade if you already have the PX7 S2s. And when it comes to the media controls on these headphones, the PX7 S3s have physical buttons, kind of staying on a theme of featuring a more premium design language because analog is where it's at. So with these buttons, you can quickly and easily pause and play your music, you can skip through your music, and you can easily adjust your volume. It just works. However, the PX7 S3s also have wear sensors, so they'll automatically pause your music when you take them off, and they'll start playing your music again when you put them back on. Now, personally, I don't really care for wear sensors on my headphones, so thankfully you can turn them off, but the important thing here is the wear sensors on the PX7 S3s are accurate, because Bose & Wilkins do have a history of having very finicky wear sensors. In the past, the wear sensors on the original PX7s, they would actually turn off your music if you were just walking around with them on, but thankfully that's no longer an issue here. Now, when it comes to the active noise cancellation on these headphones, well, I just really hope that active noise cancellation isn't very important to you, because the ANC on these headphones performs like the ANC that you would find on a pair of mid-tier ANC headphones, like let's say the Sony Ultra, not premium ANC headphones like these are priced at. But so that you can see for yourself, we're going to go ahead and jump into an ANC test. So, like you may have just seen, if active noise cancellation is very important to you, then I wouldn't go with the PX7 S3s, because these headphones just can't compete with the Sony 1000 XM6s, which are the top dog right now. Now, the active noise cancellation on the PX7 S3s will help while on a bus or in a slightly chatty office, but this type of active noise cancellation performance can be found on a pair of mid-tier ANC headphones, which cost half as much. And when compared to the PX7 S2s, the PX7 S3s do a better job of blocking out lower frequency sounds, but higher frequency sounds are just able to easily get through. So that means lots of chatter. And blocking out lower frequency sounds like road noise, well, that's the easy part. What separates good ANC headphones from great ANC headphones is their ability to block out higher frequency sounds. And when it comes to the ambient mode on these headphones, it gets the job done, but it does sound a little artificial, and this microphone array can pick up a noticeable amount of wind noise when walking outdoors. However, the ambient mode on the PX7 S3s does sound better than the ambient mode on the PX7 S2s. And again, there are plenty of mid-tier or entry-level ANC headphones out there whose ambient modes just sound much better than these, albeit they might not look as good. But finally, here's the microphone test, and well, the mic on the Bose Wilkins PX7 S3s is pretty good, and it has been improved over the microphone found on the Bose Wilkins PX7 S2s. Now, while in a quiet room, these microphones sound very similar to one another, and they're both good enough to take phone calls with while in a quiet room. But what separates these microphones from one another is their ability to deal with noise pollution, because the mic on the Bose Wilkins PX7 S3s is doing a good job of dealing with all of this road noise. Because for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to a monopole microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this road noise, but if we were to switch back over to the Bose Wilkins PX7 S3s, it is reduced with minimal interference going on with my voice. Whereas with the Bose Wilkins PX7 S2s, you can hear a lot of road noise in the background. You can still understand me, but you can also hear everything else. And when it comes to blocking out chatter, it's the same thing. You can still understand me, but you can still hear everything else. Whereas with the Bose Wilkins PX7 S3s, these are doing a much better job of dealing with this noise pollution, because for comparison's sake, if we were to switch over to my lapel microphone, you're going to clearly hear all of this chatter. But if we were to switch back over to the Bose Wilkins PX7 S3s, it is reduced. So overall, the Bose Wilkins PX7 S3s actually have a good performing mic on them to take phone calls with, and it actually put other headphones out there a little bit to shame. But with all that being said, the Bose Wilkins PX7 S2s don't have the best active noise cancellation, and they don't have the best sounding ambient mode, and they just fit okay, and they do have a pretty large case. So these might not be the best headphones to travel or to fly with. But where they really excel is when it comes to sound and design. Sound quality wise, these headphones give you a very balanced listening experience, and they have a really good SMS separation and openness, but they also have a deep resonating bass, which truly engulfs you. And if you like a lot of bass in your music, then these headphones will also have you covered. I think the Bose Wilkins PX7 S2 sound like an improved version of the Sony 1000 XM6s. And then there's just the design of these headphones. They look like a fashion statement all on their own. But also, they're using finer materials and they have improved durability as well. And in a world where more and more products are designed to fail, the Bose Wilkins PX7 S2s are built to last. If you made it this far, I guess you enjoyed the video, so hit the like button and get subscribed. If you want to pick any of the products up, they'll be linked down below. And if you want to further support the channel, check out the merch. I made some shirts and hoodies that look and feel great. And you know I can be very particular, so I'll only slap my name on something if I'm really proud of it.